Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling review series for 1990. September 29th is the episode we have available at this moment. And as mentioned, not everything is available by far. Most of these are not available, you know, and you see that and you wonder, the legalities of are things still not available. But anyway, Legion of Doom, otherwise known as the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, are in your opening match in an enhancement talent match here. Lots of power moves early. Animal takes the majority of the beginning part of the match. Hawk hits a few shots here and there. Obviously, Animal and Hawk moving into or continuing their feud with Demolition, which does not go nearly as well as the I guess the booking would indicate that it should. I actually wonder now, looking back at it, did the breakup of the Powers of Pain happen because they knew that the Road Warriors were coming in within 6 months? Like, what led to the breakup of the Powers of Pain from a non-storyline, from a business perspective? I still think Powers of Pain and LOD would have been cool along the way. But clotheslines and the like, really basic stuff. Doomsday Device eventually gains a victory for the LOD, and that is always a good thing. We move to a secondary enhancement match here. Randy Savage is up next. He hits a very early, and he is alongside Sherry, of course. He hits a very early shot to the outside, elbows and the like. Takes the guy to the outside, hits a double axe handle to the outside. Savage then obviously nails the top rope elbow. Savage looking in peak condition to eventually challenge the Warrior. That's the goal here. Doesn't get all he wants on the challenge of the Warrior piece. We go to a highlight from Wrestling Challenge. Nikolai Volkov defeats Boris Zukov in the middle of the ring. The now heel Sergeant Slaughter comes in, whips him with a riding crop among other weaponry alongside General Adnan, Sheik Adnan LKC. Most notably known for AWA work, but the AWA is out of business, or pretty well by that point. And so that beatdown leads to part of the Survivor Series team in a couple of months here. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, who by this point is sporting a scruffy mustache and beard, and some Hawaiian shells, in an enhancement match against a masked combatant, I think called the Black Shadow. Kick to the midsection by Snuka. Snuka is struggling, really, to think that it's less than 5 years from his peak, and now, he's not looking very good here. Anyway, body slams by Snuka. Interestingly, in doing some research for another project I'm working on that's outside of YouTube, I learned that Snuka started wrestling in either 1968 or 69. So to think that at this point he had 21 years of experience is a really big deal. And to think that he also continued through 2015, 78, 88, 98, 2008, 2018, not that he survived that long, but I mean, over 40 years of experience. Top rope splash by Jimmy Snuka gets him the victory. We move to a match with Curt Hennig. Hennig, of course, your former Intercontinental Champion at this point, locks up with the enhancement talent, hits him with the axe. Bobby Heenan wipes the sweat from his brow. Great to see Bobby in his role. I would say Hennig is one of the last people that Bobby managed. It was a really big deal. I don't necessarily think that Ric Flair benefited from Bobby Heenan, except the introduction when Flair couldn't speak for himself. I don't think the few months that Flair was with Heenan was really necessary, but I do think Curt Hennig benefited. Anyway, the Pillmanizing or kick to the ankle, kick to the back of the leg by Hennig. Hennig uses the neck snap and the perfect plex, gets the victory. We go to an event center promo in the Boston market here. Let me just run through some of the matches if presented. They're still hyping Hogan and Earthquake. That's going to continue here. Tito Santana going to face off, I'm pretty sure, in this particular encounter with Sergeant Slaughter going into things. That is this afternoon on this particular occasion, so September 8th of 1990. Afternoon shows were a big thing in Boston. Usually they ran Boston and either Philly or Madison Square Garden the same night, so 2 shows, 6 to 7 hours apart. Clothesline by Jim Neidhart here, and Bob Bradley is one of the enhancement talents. Of course, Neidhart and Bret Hart are your tag team champions. Again, their main challenge at this particular point is coming from Rhythm and Blues. Not necessarily sure that is terribly, the most awesome thing. This actually is the October 6th edition. I think I misspoke and called this September 29th, which we will go and redo at some point in the not too distant future. So if you're confused following along at home, it's because I looked and I had opened the wrong page in my notebook. Anyway, backbreaker by Hart, Heart Attack both men, and then we see a event center promo by Ted DiBiase alongside Sapphire, holding a $1 Million Man wrestling buddy, as Virgil says nothing. He basically says that every person has their price for the $1 Million Man, and that Dusty Rhodes is going to be handled at the Garden this afternoon. Dusty says that he understands that Sapphire sold out, but that he would get even with Ted DiBiase for this. DiBiase goes into a enhancement talent match here next, shot to the midsection and a couple of other shots on Red Tyler. Tyler is the main focus here. Snap suplex and the carryover by DiBiase. DiBiase then locks in a couple of other maneuvers, most notably the $1 Million Dream to gain him the victory. DiBiase stuffs the $100 bill down his man's throat, and that's where we go. Rick Martel out next on the Brother Love show. He is very, very happy with this process, and he basically is bragging about arrogance, bragging about not having anything else going on other than looking good, smelling good. But this is interesting because Jake Roberts makes his way out there. Basically says the arrogance stinks. Martel stays out there pumping arrogance all around the Brother Love set. And eventually catches Jake Roberts in the eye with some arrogance. Roberts goes down and is unable to defend himself. Obviously receiving a chemical burn to the eye, or that's what we're to believe anyway. I remember at this time being extremely devastated by the actions of Martel. In 1990, I'd been a fan for a little more than a year here at this particular juncture, and bought things hook, line, and sinker. So Jake Roberts going down, considering Jake was in the first main event of a house show that I ever saw, was pretty big news. Not big news is Dino Bravo in a enhancement challenge match here. Super quick. Dino, honestly barely able to move, gets a suplex or two in, sidewalk suplex, and then Earthquake, who is seconding him, squashes his opponent as we move forward there. Survivor Series being discussed. We hear a couple of teams added. This is the Ultimate Warrior, Kerry Von Erich and the Road Warriors, aka LOD, versus Curt Hennig and all three members of Demolition Axe, Smash, and Crush. The perfect team against the Warriors. I think the thought was they were going to do Hennig and the Warrior around the horn for the title. I don't know how that went because I don't ever. I think I remember it being part of a tag match at some point or a house show card at some point, but I think I ended up skipping that show. It ended up being a TV taping, if I remember correctly, and I did not go. Tom Stone out next in an enhancement match for the Big Boss Man. Boss Man gets regular play here, having more problems with the Heenan family. That obviously happens more on Wrestling Challenge than here on Superstars because Bobby Heenan does the color analysis on Challenge, and Boss Man hits a kick, uppercuts, and the Boss Man slam 1, 2, 3 gets the victory. The Big Egg is noted at the ringside area. The Big Egg ends up being the Gobbledygooker revealed at Survivor Series 90, but that's that. And we close the program with another Event Center deal for later in the afternoon. The Hearts Against Rhythm and Blues, they talk about having fought them before, and that's basically what you got for this particular edition. We'll be back with more right after this.